from Hammanskraal in Gauteng. There's a little bit of rain, but come rain or shine, the DA is on a mission to ensure that we get our municipalities working. Now, on Human Rights Day, we are reminded that access to water, safety are not a privilege. They are a right. But across our communities, that right is being broken. After decades of ANC failure, our towns and cities are in crisis. We've got increasing crime, the collapse of infrastructure, failing basic services. But today, we are here to tell you that there is hope. The DA will be having members of our various executive structures on stage, and they will be releasing our blueprint to get water back in tap, to get our cities working for all our people. So you don't want to go anywhere. Please like and share this broadcast with your friends and family. Make sure they don't miss out, and follow our Facebook page so you can keep up with our campaign to ensure that we get South African municipalities, towns and cities working. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Every single time I am on this podcast platform, I speak about water. Because I, as a resident in Joburg, born and bred, I love my city. 23 days.
Yeah.
23 days of not having water in parts of Johannesburg, Melville, Emmarentia, Parktown North, Brixton, Auckland Park. A huge amount of Johannesburg does not have water.
The big question is this. People in DA-run municipalities have water.
Exactly.
Yep. So
exactly.
what is the difference? It is a management issue.
Yeah.
And the answer is not going to come from a Sona speech.
Yes.
The answer is going to come from the ballot box. Cyril Ramaphosa can make speeches for the next 20 years. Vote in a government that can actually deliver water. You want water?
Yeah.
Vote for water.
The DA podcast.
The DA podcast.
We are back. I'm joined by two DA councillors here in the city of Tshwane that are fighting for our residents. Themba Dikeledi, we are here on Human Rights Day. How does it feel to be here?
It feels very, very ecstatic, Kwena, with the youngsters, with all the gogos around here, to make sure that we're celebrating this Human Rights Day. Unfortunately, with all the water tankers around here, it sends a message that the people of Hammanskraal have not been sorted out with the issues of water up until now.
Thank you, Themba Dikeledi.
I think it's such an important thing that we are here today, but also it talks about so many people who care about their human rights, and that is what is so important as far as to continuously, in a democracy, still be fighting for the human rights of every single person.
Now, Themba, on a day that's meant to be a representation of people's dignity, how does it feel to see how the people of Hammanskraal are still living in this day and age?
Look, this is an embarrassment to tell for the 30 years that we have a government that is not talking to our people. Further is that instead of providing a simple water, which is a basic right, they decide to go on water tankering. I mean, not at this day and age that our people should be receiving water through water tankering. I mean, you've seen the wheelbarrows, you've seen the goggles going to fetch water in the morning. People have invested in their property. The geysers don't work because there's no water there. This is really a mess in this. And I must say that we have tried as a DA during Brink administration to push harder to make sure that the people of Hammanskraal and get a solution to this. Unfortunately, we were ousted. Clearly, the agenda was to get as much money as we go to local government and be able to get money through water tankers.
Now, you speak about the Brink administration. Can you speak about some of the things that were being achieved during that time?
The biggest was to make sure that Royval gets to work for once in the past 25 years. What was happening was we made sure that we wanted to upgrade and have quality affluent into the Upper East River so that our people can be able to have provision of water. We devised a temporary measure through the Makhalis partnership so that we can make sure that people of Hammanskraal have adequate supply of water through the water tank, through their taps, not on their water tankers.
Dikeledi, some of the things that we were achieving when we were in government here in the city of Tshwane.
Well, the one thing that we did so well was to ensure that we cut on the cost of water tankers, but also ensuring that we partnered with Makhalis to get clean water into this community. And where we're standing in Hammanskraal, this community has gravely been disadvantaged by clean water. But the DA was turning around that situation, also looking at alternative ways to ensuring that they receive clean water. And that was why they removed the Democratic Alliance from government in the city of Tshwane.
Now, outside of water, there are various infrastructure issues and crime issues that are affecting the dignity of the residents of Tshwane. Can you please speak a bit to the issues of crime?
Okay, so when we talk about crime is a serious problem in all townships and in suburbs in Tshwane. One of those things is obviously we are pushing for the devolution of power so that our metro police is more equipped. But as well, where we are standing again in Hammanskraal, this is where young women get brutally killed and their bodies get thrown in rivers right here. But also in Atteridgeville, we had a mass shooting. So this also speaks about how there isn't visible policing and there isn't enough to actually fight gender-based violence and common crime in the city of Tshwane.
Now, it's a vibe here, it's loud. I don't know if you heard that question, so I'll ask you again. Outside of the issues of water, there's massive infrastructure issues here in the city of Tshwane. Can you speak a bit more to that and how they're affecting the dignity of residents?
Look, when coming to Hammanskraal alone, the potholes that you have seen there, electricity outages, leaks that are also on our pipelines, the importance of all those losses, that is money that has been thrown onto the ground. We need to devise better way of how we can then be able to maintain our infrastructure and all of that. But the good thing is that the only people who can be able to deliver this is the Democratic Alliance. In the 10 best-run municipalities in this country are DA-led administration. So this is not rocket science. We need to advise our people and push harder and our activists so that we can go and preach the gospel of the Democratic Alliance and make sure that in November people vote wisely, we get the city back and be able to render services. One of the most important and critical things is that once you have a stable municipality, business will be able to come into the city, then our people will be able to be employed. You would be able to have an economy that it is properly fed and our people can be able to have. We need to get people off the SASA. People need to make their own choices about the decisions of their life. When I can tell you that the vibe is hard, but I can tell you, come November, we are taking this municipality.
The fight is hard. I love it, Tim, and the people behind us clearly love it as well. Now, a lot of people watching at home may have lost hope. What would your message be for them? Why is today different? And why is this election different?
I think people should not lose hope. November is coming. Our people need to make sure that they're casting the vote. We need to reinstate Celia, bring back into a seat so that they can be able to push the agenda of service delivery, get rid of corruption in the city, make sure that people are not provided water through water tankers. People want water through their taps.
DK, your final message to the people at home who may have lost hope.
Well, to the people at home who have lost hope, you've got 3 things to do, and that is 1, register to vote, 2, go out and vote, and 3, vote for the DA so that you can get services, clean water, just the mere basics when it comes to service delivery, and the DA can definitely deliver for you, me, and everyone here.
Hey, register to vote. Now, the issue of water is not just a Tshwane issue. It's broader. It's Gauteng. It's South Africa. And so just now, we will be interviewing the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation. So don't go anywhere.
Usually we have 1. This week we have 4 special guests. It's you, Donovan. It's you, Naz. It's you, KB. Everybody's here.
Today, as Agnes says,
we are
the special guests. We get to know each other and the work that we're doing, because we don't often speak about it on the podcast because we focus on our guests and the work that they're doing.
Being a councillor is absolutely amazing. You are a councillor, so you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the cold face of politics.
I've now served in all spheres of government.
Yeah.
I've served in local, I've served in provincial, and I've served at a national level.
I am on correctional services, so some people get to go on cool oversights.
You go to jail.
I go to
So Donovan, tell us about your journey.
Cheers. I don't like talking about myself, but
Lies.
The DA podcast.
The DA podcast.
Energy. Next something.
Pasopa. Asambe selector. The last song. This is the last one.
TV.
Now we lost our TV again. I want you to do like this. There's a song. I'm looking for Salim Simanga. Hosaba. This is the leader. We are taking it to the streets again. Tio mama Tio Guta Ah shoot Bilang Hakilutri Oi, Twana, oi. Aye.
Introduce Tom.
Viva, TA, viva. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He's from here.
Yes.
Umuntu wa Gauteng.
Hey.
Umuntu waseJozi. Allow me to introduce the best program director ever, the one and only Tammy
Tammy Mapena.
Halala TA, halala. Ngena TA, ngena. Phansi wa Cyril Ramaphosa, phansi. Down Cyril Ramaphosa, down. Phansi Payaza Lesufi, phansi. City food tax corruption, food tax. You like corruption, you. Food tax corruption, food tax. Halala TA, halala. Ngena Celia Spring, ngena. Democrats, thank you very much. We're here today because of an incompetent, useless thugs and thieves from the ANC. We are here because these thugs from the ANC are threatening our democracy. We are here today because these thugs and thieves from the ANC want to undermine a hard-fought and won democracy. You'll remember, Democrats, that in 1960, on this day in Sharpeville, we lost quite a lot of people on that day when an apartheid government killed 69 people who were at a police station in Sharpeville. We must always remember those heroic acts of those people who were there in Sharpeville. We must also remember that this hard-won democracy is not something that the ANC can just play with. We must always remember that the struggle for freedom and human dignity did not come easy. That is why we must guard it jealously and kick out this corrupt ANC. Democrats, you will also remember that in Marikana, there was also another atrocity, which was a dark day on our democracy, where the ANC government committed what we call concomitant action, and they killed 34 miners on that day. The ANC continues to violate our human rights. The ANC is a government that must be removed. You will remember again that at Life Esidimeni, abantu abagula ngengqondo, they were left to starve because thugs and thieves of the ANC had to monopolize tenders of government so that they can eat, so that they can chow, so that they can frustrate us. So a lot of people lost their lives in Life Esidimeni. As if that was not enough, in true form of the ANC, a government of thugs led by thieves and led by people who do not care about this country, they continued to kill other people again in Stilfontein. We have an incompetent government of the ANC which continues to violate this very constitution.
Now, we must always make sure that we guard against these thugs taking over government. Democrats, human rights requires eternal vigilance. That is why the DA is here. We're here to make sure that these thugs and thieves from the ANC do not collapse our country. That is why we must register all of us to vote. You must make sure that you are registered, that your neighbor is registered, that your girlfriend is registered, your boyfriend is registered. Inyati yako must be registered. Ikwapa lako must be registered.
Yes, sir.
Everyone must be registered to vote and vote for a DA. Halala DA, halala. Ngena DA, ngena. Viva Celia Spring, viva. Ayeye Koko Helen Zille, ayeye. Ngena DA, ngena. Democrats, thank you very much. We are going to ask now for halala DA, halala.
Halala.
Halala DA, halala. Down with corruption, down. Away with water tank mafias, away. Away with these thieves, away. Fighting corruption, fighting. For tag corruption, for tag. For tag. For tag corruption, for tag. For tag. Sitingela, Celia Spring, ngela. Halala DA, halala. Democrats, thank you very much. We are going to now ask for a moment of silence, and then we are going to give our colleagues to take us through.
Let's do the moment of silence, men. Please remove your head and bow your head. Tango Sabonga, amen.
Omuhau, omuhau amodimo. Muhau.
Hurrying. Modi.
Naisali umpitlela. Naisali.
Naizali umpitela. Naizali. Pitlela. Omuhau amodimo. I don't see your boards up. Modi.
We are here because we've got a thuggish ANC government that must be removed. We are here because these thieves and thugs continue to steal money of government. We must never forget that they continue to violate our human rights. They don't even deliver water, but they continue to make all of us to suffer. Down with corruption, down! Down with water mafia, down! Democrats, let's welcome to the stage Mbalina Kutsa to sing a national anthem. We're asking all men, let's remove our beautiful hats. Thank you very much. DA halala. Ayeye DA activists. Ayeye. Halala DA activists. Halala. Viva hardworking public reps of the DA. Viva.
Viva.
Amanda. Democrats, please allow me to call onto the stage the acting regional chairperson of the Tshwane region, Ubaba Uofense Matibandila.
Hey!
Hoy, ofensa, hoy, hoy.
Lead Mochali.
Kena,
Akhona
ofensa,
ujayiva.
kena.
Viva DA, viva!
Viva.
Viva DA, viva!
Viva.
Phansi ngamasela phansi! Phansi ngamasela phansi!
Phansi.
Democrats, welcome to Hammanskraal. Democrats, welcome to an area of resilient people, patient people. These are people that have been waiting for water on their taps for the last 25 years. Democrats, welcome to the people that have stood up and are saying enough, it's enough. As Brink would say that in every 10 cars, 1 car is a water tanker. We are saying enough, it's enough, Democrats. The people of Mamelodi are saying enough, it's enough, Democrats. The people of Harangua are saying enough, it's enough, Democrats. The people of Oliver and Oudbosch are saying enough, it's enough, Democrats. Democrats, we want water in our taps. Democrats, we want water in our taps. We are tired of water tankers. Our pride is not your economy. You cannot be rich with indignifying our people. You cannot continue to enrich yourself while people are suffering. Democrats, the ANC must fall and the ANC must fall now. Democrats, all of this will become a speech if we do not stand up, Democrats.
Yes.
Democrats, all of this will just become a fallacy if we do not stand up, Democrats. This is a time to be counted. As Tammy has said in 1960, people stood up and wanted to be counted. This is your time to be counted, Democrats. Let us make sure on the 20th and the 21st of June, we are going to get people registered to vote for a change, Democrats.
Yes, leader.
To vote for a government that will bring water into taps. Our masala abawe. Futak to water tankers, futak. Futak to water tankers, futak. FIFA, DA, FIFA. FIFA, DA, FIFA. We want water in taps, Democrats. We want water in taps, Democrats.
Yes.
And the only way is to vote for Celia Brink into office. Amanda! Away, 2.
Halala DA, halala. Punching on my water tanker mafias, punching. Punching with the thugs of the ANC, punching. Punching with the thugs of Action SA, punching. Down with these thugs of the EFF, down. We're tired of La Masala, we are tired.
We are tired.
Sitting Ngela, DA Ngela. Ngela, Silas Brink Ngela. Halala DA, halala. Democrats, I'm going to call to the stage a man who was an executive mayor in this city. When he left office, he left over 2 billion rand in that account of the city of Tshwane. But within a few weeks, those thugs of the ANC, they had finished all of that money. Let's welcome Ntata Silas
Viva!
Viva!
Democrats, what you see here are the dam levels in Gauteng. This is what our dams look like. It's not that the dams are dry. The dams are full. The crisis of water in our province and in much of our country is not because of lack of rain. We've seen the skies open here today. It is man-made. It is corruption. It is money being wasted. That is why we don't have water in our taps. So Democrats, for me and for every South African who loves this country, Human Rights Day is very important.
And the most basic human right is water in your tap. Clean water in your tap that you can trust. Metsi di pompong.
Yes!
Not Metsi di tankeng.
Yes!
That is what we want.
Yes!
So we are in Hammanskraal. We are in Hammanskraal for a very specific reason. Because just behind this fence is the Klipdrift package plant. Now that place was meant to end the Hammanskraal water crisis and give people clean water in their taps. But today it's a monument of ANC failure. When we were in government, me and Temba Fosi took hands with national government. This plant was built, hundreds of millions of rands. But you know what? They took us out. They took us out exactly because this plant is going to give people water in their taps. They took us out because the ANC makes profit off of these trucks here. And you know, if you watch the Madlanga Commission, you know what's going on here. Instead of taking the money to finish this plant, to give the people of Hammanskraal water in their taps, they've spent 777 million rand on water tankers. And one of the people benefiting from this contract is the Deputy Mayor of Tshwane, Eugene Modise. The Deputy Mayor of Tshwane is being investigated by the SIU. The Deputy Mayor of Tshwane is profiting off of water tankers. But you know what? He keeps his position. He's still in his position. That is the reality of what we have under the ANC. But you know, like Offense has said, enough is enough. It is time to take back our city. It is time to take back the water in our taps. It is time to send home the water tanker entrepreneurs. Democrats, it is time to get this city working for all of its people. Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Pansi corruption, pansi!
Pansi!
Viva Hammanskraal, viva!
Viva!
Let us stand together and bring victory and water to the taps of people of Hammanskraal and the rest of Gauteng. Thank you very much.
Oi, Silas, oi, oi!
Oi, oi! Halala, Silas, halala! City Ghana incoming, Mayor Silas, bring Ghana! Our Pume, our Pume! City town with that puppet, useless Mayor Moya town! Punching out that puppet Moya, punching out that puppet, useless Mayor town!
Down!
Halala DA, halala! Democrats President Thabo Mbeki calls people who steal money from the poor and those that steal money of the people and those that steal taxpayers' money. He calls them imigodoi. That's what he said. I didn't say it. He said it. So anyone who steals money is nothing but a parasite, someone who must be removed from government. We need honest politicians. Halala TA, halala. I'm going to call to the stage a deputy minister of water and sanitation, someone that must send Pemi Machotina on retirement, someone who must replace Pemi Machotina the following day, because even Pemi Machotina herself is useless in that portfolio. Halala TA, halala. Halala TA, halala. Democrats, let's welcome to the stage the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation.
Hey, Assam! Halala TA, halala. Assam,
Deputy Minister.
one day, DA, viva!
Viva!
Viva the people of Hammanskraal, viva!
Viva!
Fellow Democrats, ke a utlwa go buiwa sekgowa vandaga. Ba bolela sekgowa, ba khumsha. Yaanong ke re ke motlhomong ke ba tsene ka Setswana.
All right.
Mo letsatsing la gompieno re kopane mo Hammanskraal. Re commemorate Human Rights Day. A day, Democrats, that has to remind us of the ongoing struggles for dignity, equality, and justice for all. But hey, Human Rights Day, 25 years is enough for people to not have water. As we stand here, we reflect, Democrats, on the fundamental basic human right that is enshrined in the Constitution that has been systematically undermined by those that have been in government for 31 years. And that is, Democrats, safe, clean drinking water. Democrats, the executive mayor, incoming Litres would have told you that our infrastructure is collapsing. And this is largely due to negligence. As if infrastructure collapse. May I want to assure you, the executive mayor incoming of the city of Tshwane, that there is very little incentive for comrades to build the infrastructure, for comrades to operate and maintain the infrastructure. It's a reality. They do not have an incentive, because if they had the incentive, we would not be here today. The incentive should be about people's lives. The incentives should be about clean water that is coming out of people's taps. But today, we are surrounded by tanks. The tanka tsa metsi tse leng hore he re ka dintsha he re ka bolela ka tsone, we get assassinated. Ra bolawa because re bolela ka di water tanker mafias that have taken over the water sector in South Africa. Why the CEO go Midval where the DA is in government? Why the CEO go Kouga where the DA is in government? Why the CEO go Umgeni in KZN where the DA is in government? Democrats, incoming mayor, executive mayor Litres, let me tell you, Democrats, there are people that are working at our wastewater infrastructure. There are comrades that are being deployed at our water treatment plants, at our wastewater treatment infrastructure, Litres. There are comrades who can hardly tell the difference between a clarifier and a digester. But they are working at this infrastructure. This is the reality that we face in as far as cadre deployment is concerned. Honorable Democrats, this morning I want to tell you that the National Department of Water and Sanitation has got a program that it is running. It's called the Blue, Green and No Drop Report. These reports are not just documents. They are a call to action. They tell us exactly who is at fault for the crisis that we are facing in as far as water is concerned in our republic. Democrats, local governments are elected by communities because they must, from a constitutional point of view, provide dignified water and sanitation services. The reality is, if we do not fix local government, we will not fix water and sanitation challenges in South Africa. It's a fact. Fellow Democrats, the department, as well as other national departments, they spend 60 billion per annum. Bafadi Maspala, 60 billion. Infrastructure ya bona ya metsi le sewage. But do you know what happens to that money? The project they lay barren. Contractors leave site. Contractors, they come in, bafiwa the mmereko ka jojo. Momorao hamo batoela infrastructure it collapses so that they can continue with water tankers. It's a fact. The Democratic Alliance is correct. Bring up those particular dams. Bring them up, those dams. The Democratic Alliance is correct to say, the DA is correct to say, the reality is that this infrastructure is the infrastructure of the National Department of Water and Sanitation. Where we are responsible, where is the fault? fault? The fault is with municipalities that are dependent on water tankers because they profit those who have got absolutely no value. Abana letswalo, abana dipelo, abana botho. Me gompieno yana re commemorate Human Rights Day. We must remember that access to clean drinking water is not just an issue of infrastructure. It is a fundamental human right. We must unite Democrats to demand better from those that we have elected in municipalities. And I'm happy to announce that come 2026 LGE, we are going to elect those who recognize and realize the importance of this particular commitment. We must make our voices heard. We must fight for the rights for all. Join us in registering Democrats to vote to ensure that we put accountable leaders like Silias Brink, like Katura Silingwani, like Peter Taxera, like Jack Julius. Bona, we put all of these leaders because they know what accountability and transparency is. Pata Elenzila Pata, Pata King Sol Chabalala Pata, Pata Silias Brink Pata, Pata Georgine Hill Lewis Pata, Pata D.A. Pata. Thank you so much, Democrats.
Awe, Zilo, awe. Halala D.A. halala. City halala D.A. halala. Ngena Koko Helen Zile ngena. Ngena Silia Brink ngena. Hey, hey. Sisma. Halala DA, halala. Panze, corruption, panze. Sitting panze with us useless premier who showers and hotels, panze. Ngena, Solim Simanga, ngena. Down with that useless idiot, Panyaza, down. Down with showering and hotels, down. Democrats, I'm going to call to the stage a man who is a leader of this province.
All right.
Join us, let's clap hands together for someone who holds that premier accountable. Let's clap hands together for Soli Msimanga.
Soli Msimanga, hoi hoi.
Not yet uhuru,
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 not yet uhuru.
Halala democracy, halala, halala democrats, halala,
halala.
Democrats. Mengwaha e fetileng ho na le batho se le ba ema. There were those that stood and said enough is enough. There were those that stood as Ntate Mabena buile mona ba se le ba reng, even if we die so that those that come after us must live a better life. Yes. Those that come after us must never ever ba me go dikhoneng ba metsi metsi ba sa tsere metsi a tlatswa na. Never did they think gore motho o motsho o tla tsatsileleng o tla sokola the way batho ba borona ba sokola nkate. You know, today we're not celebrating, we should never celebrate human rights when people's rights are trampled on each and every day. We should be dipping our heads in shame and saying, when did we get it wrong? And I can tell you when we got it wrong. Mahodu, when they took over government, they stopped serving Batubalo Huring, but they've put them in government. They started then deciding who no, their pockets are much more important than you and me. They started thinking, no, Hari Lukisa planti eka mona. You know, I want to tell you something. In 2016, 2017, Hari Tom, Rilera fixa water treatment ya Hammanskraal. Re lukisa re re batla hore metsi ya Hammanskraal a be metsi ya matleng. Ya re hesetse re thome commissioner esentse lokele metsi by vandalize. By senior because of understand hore ha nkebe se le ra ikra right Hammanskraal ne ba ga se ba e bone vote ya Hammanskraal. You see, for them it was about politics instead of the dignity about Waburu. Then have a fetsa Ntate Tamba Fosi batla hape ba ilukisa hape treatment plant. But by senior hape the same treatment plant because of akiri chelete ha itswa ka di tankers. But to keep on abo, but you know Ntate Tabo barkimang Ntate Mkante celebrate tum. Are ha ho na le chaos o tsebe hore comrade ya benefita somewhere. When there's chaos, there's a comrade who's benefiting somewhere. And Rabaiti ba mo ba benefita. Ho na le batho ba bang ke bo komang ka nna ka Hammanskraal ka mo.
Ho nna le bontate ba bang ke bo komang ka nna ka Hammanskraal. Ba bang e bile batho ba tsamaya di-tender tsa di-truck a se na le truck le one. A na le kribane mare o na le tender ya di-truck. I don't think those that died in 60 go Sharpeville, the 69 that died in Sharpeville, ever thought one day ngwana borona wa mosadi o tla re ha ba tla mosebetsi ba mmotsa ba re theosa borukhu pele. I don't think gore ka nako eo batho ba they were saying let's get bana ba borona di right tse le gore ba di hloka. I don't think gore they ever thought gore years later bana ba borona tle ba eme mo dikhoneng mona ba fetsa ke nyaupe. I don't think gore they ever thought bonkgono ba borona they will be standing mo di lining tsa go clinicing ba sa thole le dipilisi tsa bona ka nako se ba thole clinic. But you have a premier a khona go botsa house na metsi e ya go hoteleng o lo tlhapa go hoteleng. You have an MEC wa health a go botsa gore batho ba enjoy gore bala mo fatshe go spetle. Hey, ke maka enjoy gore bala mo fatshe go spetle. Who would want to not have dignity when they are sick? You see, these are the people that have really lost the touch. These are the people that has really lost what it means to have a fight and a passion for human rights in South Africa. But you see, bana ba borona re a lebala. Ba tlotla a ke re ba bone last week ne ba fa batho di loaf. But one loaf, one family. You see, ba tla o bribe ba tlo o fa loaf ya borotho. Instead of saying, let's get you a job so that you can buy loaf every day for your children, so that you can get your children to a school that you want, so that you can get to a healthcare that you want, so that you can build a house that you want, you can have a dignified life. You see, Runa Batiye, we are saying no. We stand here and say, we can't say we are free, we can't say we have human rights while others are still struggling. Ndade Mandela will bua, nobody can truly be free until all of us are free. Nobody can enjoy human rights until all of us enjoy human rights. Ahuna o tla reng yena o na le ditokelo tse di rileng tse fetang ba bang ba sena tsona. And I want to tell you something ka jeko. Ahuna mkhatlo o tlhoileng batho ba bantsho go tshwana le ANC. Yes. I want to tell you straight. Ahuna mkhatlo o tlhoileng batho ba bantsho go tshwana le ANC. Because of okase tlhorisi motho re ngwa mrata. O tlong go matlanga ruetsalang. Ba tsentse le ditsotsi ka mara maphodisha. Rena ha o reipilwe, rena ha o tsweditswe, rona ha ba o senyeditse, o ya go maphodisheng o nyaka thuso, bona ba tswa ka ntlhela ba ilo negotiate le ditsotsi. Bana ba borona ba fetsa ke dinyaupe, instead of maphodisha ba tshware, bona ba busy ka mo morao ka mola, and a se maphodisha botlhe ke pa le nkutlweleng. As maphodisha otlhe, we know the policemen and women ba le hore ba ira mosebetsi wa bona, ba batla ho etsa mosebetsi wa bona. But ba lediwa ke ditsotsi. They are led by criminals who are supposed to be protecting us. And I get la itse ba reng, ba re tlhapi e bola o thoma mo tlhogo. We are now saying enough is enough. When we're talking about human rights, when we're talking about human rights, we're talking about the dignity because you can't say but dignity before o tlhapa o tshwantse o tle mo khoneng o tlo nyaka metsi while on a little you can't say how say it's also from that day. You can't say how like dignity about only mutuam how about sebeti wa cancel or batam sebeti look about what the EPWP we cannot talk about dignity about when Bunkhunu has its high milo tswa ka 4 o'clock a ilo hema go clinic ha fetse ba mraba dipilisi tsa wa di atla o tla next week o tlo check. It cannot be hore bana ba borona instead of getting jobs you are told ka 350 e etsang 350. We want
dignified life. A dignified life is when a young person, a middle-aged person, an old person that still feels can wake up, because that's when true freedom is. How sebetsa, you have the freedom. Yes, cartel. Yes, cartel. We are tired. You see, Ndade Pichana released a report. The report airing, there's over 1 trillion. 1 trillion. Eilen kuma kumreiti. La tseba trillion ke tšhelete kanang kana. Ase 5 trillion, I don't think. You see, Bata tabale bontsha hore no re ahile dintlu re irile ha nkebe trillion ba inkile ba hela batho dintlu ka nako ne setse ba di heka yona ba ira di-clinic le dipetlele ka nako setse di irilwe ka teng a nkebe gona yana re phela bophelo bo different nkebe go sna o re reng ha tsoha ona yanong ha sebetse. But you see, ntwe ke ratang ke hore ha o ka tloha mo wa namela ka highway kwa ho na le tropong go ba re ke Midval. How can I commit Val? How can I commit Val? How na pothole? How can I commit Val? Street light dia sebetsa. How can I commit Val furu batho bana tsana ka mo di taxi ba tsana ka mo di beseng we wa kae we wa mosebetsi. When we talk about the lowest unemployment rate ya Gauteng, Midval ke number 1. How thoma bua ka di audit tse clean, Midval ke number 1. How bua ka masipala o sebetsang, Midval ke number 1. How bua ka masipala o hang infrastructure o sa ya hele ka jeko o hela infrastructure for the future, Midval. The only municipality bar no rena area hidi reservoir because of their shorter redia because of rea tseba hore batho ba tloa ka moving Midval. So re hela 50 years go pele ha una go ka thola ngore ku Midval di pipe bar ha di lokisiwe and ona le ntwe ke ba tlolobela nyo. They lie and say hey go khaelicha le tlhokomele batho go khaelicha batho bana le metsi go khaelicha mabona sebetsa mo a ona le tsela di tswile tseleng mo di tswile tseleng mo. This is what is happening mo. How tsoha mo how tsoha ori o bula pompo ha ona next o re tshuma mabono na kwa ngwa mabone ha teng ha fetsa ba re no instead of balukise ba company e bile ba re ba o charge more. Hona yana ba nameletsa hape price ya mabona kere from next month you are going to be paying 8% plus more ka taba ya ntwela ka taba ya mabona. And then they are saying hore batho ba phele jwang. How are you going to live a dignified life? So Democrats, our mission is very clear. Those that died 60 plus years ago, those that stood in the lines and say, even if we get killed, it will die for an idea that will live. We must remember that, and we must say to them, we are going to carry that mandate of installing and instilling the dignity ya motho wa borona. Everybody adula mo South Africa must have the dignity of life. Let us not allow those that want to divide us, but no, wena lo Mosotho ya makamona, wena lo Khoa ya makamona, wena if you are a colored person kamona, wena if you are an Indian person or you are this religion ya makamona. No, we are saying as the Democratic Alliance, we want to build a South Africa that works for all the people. We want to build a South Africa that instills dignity. We want a country that one day Harasiyo can say our parents fought and built a country that we can proudly call home. That's what we want to be doing, Democrats. And when we remember and reflect on this day, I want us to remember that those that paid the ultimate sacrifice had a dream of a South Africa that everybody can live in peace and with dignity. And we must carry that forward. Whether you find yourself udula ka Hammanskraal, whether you find yourself udula ko Waterkloof, whether you find yourself ko Atteridgeville, ko Mamelodi, or ko Brooklyn, or ko Centurion, the service that you must be getting must be quality services. The opportunities of job must be quality jobs that you are getting. Not to thola ba botsa ba re no ho na le di EPWP tse se tso tlhobole pele penti before thola di EPWP. Not to re o thola mesebetsi ba botsa ba re no you must be a member ya mokgatlo o rileng before thola mesebetsi. Phansi ngamasela phansi ho na le ba bange ba tlo tla mo ba tlo le fora Go na lo mongwe o tlo le botsa re yena o tlha mo Hammanskraal. A re yena ke ngwana mo Hammanskraal, ke ngwana mo Hammanskraal. Ha fetsa. The MMC tsa gagwe di ntsha di tender ka mokunyata ka mothoko. Ka mothoko di MMC tsa gagwe di ntsha di tender ka mokunyata. We saying phansi ngamasela phansi. Phansi ngamasela phansi. Rona as Democrats we are saying, and I want to say to our activists, I salute each and every one of the activists in Taro. And I want to say to you in closing, Democrats, it is up to you, it's up to me. There should never be a house. There should never be a church. There should never be a stock fair. There should never be anywhere where people are gathering where the DA is not present. We must go to each and every home and knock on each and every door and saying the choice is simple. You continue to vote for Mashodu, you're going nowhere, or you vote for the DA, we get Gauteng working, we get our municipalities working, you get the dignity of life. That's what we need to be voting for. The choice is very simple, Democrats, and we need to go and say to our residents, iya uregister. Uzoithola kanjani ungaregister? Uzoithola kanjani ungazovota? You see, those that are saying kwatswana kanne totlo nantsutswana. If you say ngiyafana kuzohlala kufana because wena awenzi ushintsho. So change and then the change will come to you. That's what we now need to be telling our people, Democrats. So we are going to march, Democrats, forward to those houses. We are going to march to those churches. We are going to march to those chisanyamas. We are going to go to those mosques and say the Democratic Alliance can bring the true freedom so that everybody can really live a dignified life. Democrats, we are going to win municipalities in Gauteng. Celia Brink is going to be the mayor. Helen Zille is going to be the mayor. Katural Chirwan is going to be the mayor. You are going to have Tyrone Ale Mayor. You are going to have the JJ is the mayor. West Rent. You are going to have Peter Taxer. Shem. Soli Chabalala. Mayor Emfuleni Kakwa. Mova Tubasa Mamudi Mama Kaka Mayan Clinic in Tay. Mova Tubasa Sebets Mote. But we are saying the dignity is returning to the people of South Africa. We will bring it, and the Democratic Alliance is the only hope and the only choice that people must remember. When it comes to change, when it comes to doing good, the Democratic Alliance will give us that, and we will all sing, it is now Uhuru Kalebo.
Halala TA, halala. Ayaya solim simanga, ayaye. Halala solim simanga, halala. Gana Silas Brink, Gana. Gana Coco Helen Zille, Gana. City food tax, corruption, food tax. Food tax. Food tax, corruption, food tax. Food tax. Food tax, water tankers, food tax. Food tax. Hey, to our comrades. Halala TA, halala. Democrats, thank you very much. Ibile mudimu rata TA. He program arna ife chapula ya Tom. Uwancha kuri mudimu has approved. We must have this program today. So thank you very much to all our activists. Yes. Everyone, for all of us who are here, who call us ourselves activists. Relebuwa kamata, retana door to door, umuntu phezu komuntu, siyangena, siyaregister. You must register to vote. Inyati yakho kumele register. Ikhwapha lakho liregister. Umuntu makakushela, umbuzo uthi are you registered? You can't say you love me if you are not registered. You are a useless boyfriend. You are a useless girlfriend. If your wife is not registered, mhlabeka divorce. If your husband is not registered, mhlabeka divorce. Anyone who don't go now, you must ask, are you registered to vote? Yes. If are yes, yes, Lina Kaurata. Are you registered to vote? Are yes or are you Rosaina? Are you registered to vote? Are yes or Kibabana? Are you registered? lokile lapa. Hey, engaringarera. Mara kirere ka registration. Kirere ka uvotela DA. Kirere kurutsene house to house. Uri DA kie. Uri Silias Spring kiwo. Uri King Sol Tabalala kiwo. Uri Rasile Wane kiwo. Uri Helen Zile kiwo. Uri register to vote DA. Halala DA halala.
Today we are talking everything DA Federal Congress. When we speak about Federal Congress, like, what is it?
Every 3 years, we elect new leadership as a party, and it's an important opportunity for us as a party to set our vision for the upcoming election, which will be the local government election in 2026, and for us to debate and consider some pretty serious matters.
The decisions made at this Federal Congress are vitally important, but also the leadership that is elected has a huge task on their hands heading up to the local government elections.
Every single thing that we do within the Congress will be live. The whole entire South Africa can actually tune in and watch us take our decisions. And everybody gets to see who is elected as the DA leader.
The DA podcast.
The DA podcast.
Wow, what an electric stage program. I'm now joined by the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation. Selo, what a speech. How does it feel to be here today in Hammanskraal?
In Hammanskraal, you know, when you hear the provincial leader of Gauteng, Mr. Solim Simanga, speaking about how when the DA was in government was beginning to rebuild, you know, the Temba water treatment plant in order for it to actually be able to provide water to the residents of Hammanskraal, and how that was collapsed and how that was destroyed and vandalized by those who seemingly sought to really kind of introduce water tanker mafias. Not once, Kwena, but twice. And communities at home must be aware that the water treatment plant had been fixed by a DA government, was collapsed by Comrade. It was rebuilt by Temba Forces MMC. When he was MMC, it was again vandalized by Comrade. Why? Because they seemingly wanted to introduce these water tankers in Hammanskraal, as you see them parked here today, Kwena. And this event here today is an indication to show that the people of Hammanskraal, the people of Gauteng are sick and tired of people who are using water tankers to benefit themselves, to benefit their families, all at the expense of the grannies, the children who are desperate to have water in their taps. They've got taps at home, but there's no water coming out, and they must come to these particular tankers. They must come to communal taps. Time for communal taps in areas like this is long gone.
Now, your Deputy Minister, can you tell us a bit more about your role in national government, and what have some of the highlights been of your term?
When I think it's an important question because we've got members of our party, we've got communities, of course, who say we've got a Deputy Minister of the Democratic Alliance who has to also be at the forefront of providing water. But I need to explain one thing. We work with delegations. Now, when there's water and there's sanitation, and I happen to be at the forefront of leading the sanitation aspect of the department, of the National Department of Water and Sanitation. And let me give context to communities at home in terms of what is it that I really do within the department. Now, when people flush at home, you know, they forget that they are flushed. Now I'm done. I've forgotten that I flushed. What happens after you flush? After you flush, there has to be infrastructure that is in place that is able to take whatever you have flushed in order to go to a treatment plant. There are pipes that move, there are pump stations that have to work, and there's a wastewater treatment works that has to be able to treat that particular sewage that you have flushed down and then be released back into our water resources. Now, I'm responsible for the beginning of the water value chain. I'm responsible for the dams that need to be clean, free from pollution. I'm responsible for the tributaries and the rivers that need to be clean from pollution. I'm responsible for making sure that the water at the beginning of the value chain is clean, so that when Rand Water abstracts that water, they do not spend millions upon millions treating that water. Because what happens now, Kwena, and the viewers at home, is that you get polluted water. What it means is that it's expensive to treat. Expensive water to treat means that it is expensive to sell. Expensive water to sell means that it is expensive for communities to be able to also afford the treated water. That is the beginning of the value chain within the Department of Water and Sanitation that I'm responsible for. And I'm doing the best that I can to make sure that we address the issue of sewage that is flowing into our rivers here in Gauteng. When an interesting fact, in April last year, Professor Anthony Turton wrote an article where he estimated that 1,500 million litres of raw sewage go into our water resources, which ultimately end up in the Vaal River, which ultimately end up in Harties Dam. The Harties Dam that today the people of the Northwest cannot enjoy because it is polluted, because there is water hyacinths. And we are working hard in my portfolio, in the delegations that I have, to make sure that we correct the current state of Harties Dam, that we correct the current state of the Vaal River, because the Vaal River is the hardest working river in South Africa, although it is the second biggest river in South Africa. But industries, communities depend on that particular river. If it is polluted, it means it will be difficult to treat that water. Currently, Kwena, we are going to conclude in 2028-2029 the second phase of the Lesotho Highlands. Lesotho is giving us blue water. It is giving us clean water. But what happens? What happens? That water comes in and it comes into the integrated Vaal River system with 14 dams. 14 of those dams have got grey water. Imagine getting blue water from Lesotho and then it enters grey water in South Africa. We are paying 10% of Lesotho's GDP investing in this infrastructure. It is unacceptable that municipalities in Gauteng and also in the Upper Vaal have been allowed to discharge so much sewage into our water resources. And that is where I'm committed, and that is where I'm committed to work hard, that our people are able to enjoy their dams. They're able to also catch fish in the rivers that they used to catch fish in 15 years ago. I am committed. That is my commitment. That is what I'm working towards. And that is why you see me so focused on issues of pollution in South Africa.
Hey, I can feel the passion. You are speaking about blue water. It's clear that the Blue Party is the only party that can deliver blue water to people's taps. Now, we often hear about infrastructure collapse, a lack of maintenance. What interventions are needed?
Bueno, it's very simple. The Department of Water and Sanitation with other national departments, we give as a National Department of Water and Sanitation 2 grants. The Regional Bulk Infrastructure Grant and the Water Services Infrastructure Grant. Currently there are projects, over 500 projects, that these 2 grants are undertaking across many municipalities in South Africa. The intervention is there. The financial intervention is there. What is lacking? One, the appointment of qualified, on a merit base, people who are able to operate and maintain this infrastructure. The reality is very simple. Municipalities are not ring-fencing their funds in order to be able to maintain and operate the infrastructure. Municipalities are not appointing qualified people that are trained, that are skilled, in order to be able to undertake maintenance and operation of this infrastructure. Let me tell you the other thing, Kwena. When we take millions upon millions of rands and go as the National Department of Water and Sanitation to go and rebuild infrastructure of municipalities, 6 months, if not 3 months later, that infrastructure is back to square one. It has collapsed. Why? Because it has been vandalized. Because people do not operate and maintain it. The green, blue, and non-drop reports of the Department of Water and Sanitation are very clear that you have to be able to have operation and maintenance. Unfortunately, it is not there. And that is why it is so fundamentally important to tell South Africans that everything stops and starts at a local government level. If you do not have leaders that are elected, that are accountable, that are transparent, that understand what human rights mean, you will not have a situation that we are seeing here in Hammanskraal. That is the reality. That is why it is so fundamentally important that we go back to the developmental mandate of local government, because the DA can do it in Midvaal, the DA can do it in Kouga, the DA can do it in Umgeni. Why can it not be done in metros such as Tshwane, in metros such as Joburg and Ekurhuleni respectively? It is because of the quality of the leadership that is elected to lead that particular movement in local government. It is because of the Blue Party that consistently puts people first and politicians last.
I've never heard someone more passionate about water before. DM, what is your final message to the people watching at home?
If we do not correct the collapse of local government. If we do not fix local government, if people do not register to vote for the Democratic Alliance come LGE 2026, if people do not go out and take out their cousins, their sisters, their mothers, their fathers, their aunts, their uncles, if they do not take them to go and register come June, we will fundamentally and otherwise continue to find ourselves in the position that we're finding ourselves in. If people do not acknowledge the fact that sitting in the corner and saying, I'm not going to vote, you are part of the problem. Because yes, indeed, yes, it's the same thing. It will remain the same. If you vote, it will remain the same. But with your vote, we can change the status quo. And we can use the billions upon billions that national government is giving to local government to fix their infrastructure. Because that is the only way you are going to be able to flush and not see the sewer come out of a manhole. That is the only reason in which you are going to be able to open your tap and not find anything, but you'll find clean, drinkable water. That is your only way in which you can hold locally elected leaders accountable. It is in your hands, because your hands will determine the kind of leaders that we're going to get. And the kind of leaders that we need, that are transparent, that are accountable, are Democratic Alliance leaders. That is why you must register to vote and vote for the Democratic Alliance so that your municipality can begin to turn around.
DM, thank you so much, and thank you so much to the viewers at home that have tuned in for our Human Rights Day event. As you can hear behind me, people want Metsi, people want water, and not from water tankers, from their taps. And the power is in your hands to get that, to have water into your taps by voting for the Democratic Alliance in this year's local government elections. Please like and share this broadcast with your friends so people can understand the DA's vision and mission, and make sure that you follow our page so that you can keep update with our mission to get our municipalities working. That's the end of this broadcast. Once again, South Africa, don't lose the faith. We are the ones we've been waiting for. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
Every single time I am on this podcast platform, I speak about water. Because I, as a resident in Joburg, born and bred, I love my city. 23 days.
Yeah.
23 days of not having water in parts of Johannesburg, Melville, Emmarentia, Parktown North, Brixton, Auckland Park. A huge amount of Johannesburg does not have water.
The big question is this. People in DA-run municipalities have water.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
What is the difference? It is a management issue.
Yeah.
And the answer is not going to come from a Sona speech.
Yes.
The answer is going to come from the ballot box. Cyril Ramaphosa can make speeches for the next 20 years. Vote in a government that can actually deliver water. You want water?
Yeah.
Vote for water.
The DA podcast.
The DA podcast.
Thanks for watching. Join the mission to rescue South Africa. Like and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. Join the DA, because the DA gets things done.